Hi, welcome back to another WWF podcast. So today I'm flying solo. Darren is back at work, so I thought why not invite on one of our families who have just returned. This family stayed off-site, and I'll introduce Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Hello.
How
Thank
are
you for having me. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
you? Good. How's the jet lag?
Fine. Absolutely fine. I'm used to traveling for work, so
I think you
didn't
also
affect us.
won a watch really because you were only 4 hours in advance.
Exactly, yes. And there's changed this weekend, hasn't it? So
Yeah, yesterday.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
interesting. See how this is going to cope
Yes,
when we come
exactly.
back.
But no, all good. No signs at all. Even my 4-year-old daughter was absolutely fine. So
Good. So let's
yeah.
start from the very beginning then. Other
hmm
than how was the holiday, what made you go to Orlando? What was your deciding factor to go to Disney?
So I think my husband and I love America. When we first got together, I think Orlando was our first abroad holiday together in 2007. So long ago and way
Wow.
before children. And then 3 years later, we decided to literally book a last minute holiday a week before we left and what we could get for the money. And again, Orlando came up. So we ended up going back there in 2010. We went to Disney the first time, but we didn't go the second time. So I think when our daughter was born and she started to find the love for Disney and Disney princesses and all things pink and sparkly, we thought, why not take her? She starts school in September, so we thought, why not take her out of the UK holidays and where we wouldn't get penalised for it? Because obviously there are lots of fines in the UK for
Yeah,
taking
that's
children out
actually
of
just
school.
that's in England. We don't have that up here.
Lucky you. So we just thought, why not? She's quite mature for her age, because a lot of people said 4.5 was too young, but she's probably realistically more like a 6-year-old. And we just thought, why not? Let's do it while we can.
See, to be
Um,
honest, we've spoken about this a lot, like how young's too young, and honestly, your memories are just as important as their memories.
yes, no, I would now, having been and looking back, I would completely agree with that.
Yeah, and I think we've got things that our kids, I spoke about this in the last podcast, our kids say they remember things, but
hmm
actually do they remember it, or is it because they're looking at photos and videos of them in the past?
I would say that my daughter totally, her memory is insane. She'll remember things from holidays that we had when she was 2
Yeah.
without looking at pictures. And, she talks about this holiday that admittedly we've only been back, 10 days. But she talks about it hourly. She just doesn't stop talking about it.
And to be honest, since you got back, so have you.
I know.
Little Miss, I didn't want to go in the first
I'm a convert. I'll put my hands up to it.
A one and done trip with a child is never a one and done
No,
trip with a child.
already looking at 2027.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Everyone says,
definitely.
nope, nope, nope. There's another family I'm helping plan for just now. They're not going till October. They like you have. They want God. They want to do everything.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, we're going to try and squeeze everything in because it is a once in a lifetime. And I was like, no, it's really not a once in
No,
a lifetime.
there's so much that we went with the flow of her. If she wanted to go on a ride 4 times, we went on a ride 4 times.
Yeah,
So there was a lot of things and a lot of rides that we didn't do because we wanted her to take
yeah.
it in. It was her holiday, and we went with it. So there is a lot more things, and also a lot more things that she will want to do when she's 5, when she's 6, because her age changes, doesn't it? And her
Oh, is that you
maturity
saying you're
changes.
going back another twice when she's 5 and when she's 6?
Maybe,
Have I maybe converted you severely now?
maybe, maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
And that's the thing, though, is seeing it through their eyes, but then also we're lucky enough now that we go with friends who can take the kids for a while and we go and do our
Yes.
things. But our kids are also tall enough now to go on the biggest rides
hmm
and they are proper adrenaline junkies.
Yes. So's
Um,
mine. Wasn't really expecting that.
yeah, she
Yeah.
loved those big rides, didn't she?
Yeah.
Especially Tiana's. Every time you get a photo
Four
pass from
times I went
Tiana,
on that. 4 times.
it just
Yeah.
kept popping up and I went, oh, there we go again. She's back on. She's back on
I think
Tiana.
I think we queued for probably 5 or 6 hours for that ride in total.
That's
And
crazy.
she just loved it. She's got soaked. And she loved it every time. She still talks about that ride now.
She will. She'll talk about that
To
until
be
she goes back
fair,
the next time.
it's a very good ride.
It is. It really
It's
is.
probably one of my favourites.
It's a brilliant ride. And
Yeah.
although we're very much, when they said they were going to change it to Tiana, we were like, no. Why change something that's not broken? Splash Mountain's fine, leave it as is. And we were very hesitant to go on it because it's not what we
It's
knew
not what,
and loved.
yes. Yeah.
But now we've done Tiana's, even the kids prefer it, to be honest.
Yeah,
So,
no, she loved it. It's a brilliant ride. I don't really remember it from how it was before. I don't actually remember much from 2007 and 2010. So,
and even if you did, a lot has changed since then.
yeah, I'm sure it has.
Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have been doing the apps quite as much as what you had been this holiday and things, because I think a lot of it's now a lot more digitalized than what it was before.
I couldn't decide whether I liked that or didn't like that.
Yeah.
I think from a person that is really busy in her work life and continuously on her phone anyway, to sort of have to have the phone nearby, I couldn't quite decide whether I liked it or not, because you try and stop, and if you're looking at the app while you're queuing to look at something else and a message pops up, you're going to look at it because you've got your phone in your hand. But I couldn't decide whether I liked it or not. But I understand why they've done it.
So we've experienced it that way, but also when fast passes used to be free, so we then experienced it standing at a little kiosk in a line, waiting for the person in front of you to then finish at the kiosk, and they might have got a fast pass that you wanted.
Oh, okay.
To me, I prefer it in a way, but at the same time, you are spending far too much time on your phone.
Yes, yeah. And again, the fast passes wasn't something that we even approached, to be honest. I thought about it, and I thought it doesn't, I didn't expect us to need to go on that many rides per day, that it would become important. But also, I feel it's important for her as a child to learn that queuing is okay and something that we do.
Yeah.
For example, the only other theme park we've been with her was Legoland last year, and we actually did buy fast passes for that for the day because it was her birthday and she wanted to do everything. And I thought, if we keep producing these fast passes, she's not going to understand the concept of queuing. And I think it's important for her to do it.
I think it's also important for them to feel bored, to know what to do when they're bored. They need to learn.
And there were so many times in the queues where she was like, "Mummy, what can I do? I'm bored." And I'm like, "You're here to do this ride. You wanted to do this ride. We're queuing.
Yeah.
So here's a snack."
I've had so many snack pictures from you.
Would you like another snack? Would you like another snack? It was like literally like that.
That's what you constantly do. And when you see other families in the queue, you think, "Oh, that's a good idea." Like they're playing that heads up game on their phone.
I saw loads of that actually.
Oh, it gives you like different ideas.
Yeah. Again, if she was older, it's a really good idea, but she can't read.
No.
But yeah, that's a really good idea. We did resort to YouTube a couple of times.
Well, there's another, I don't even know if this exists, but I mean, we were talking about business ideas before you left. So there's ways to get over there more. And that could be a business idea. You could do an app with just pictures.
Yep.
For the younger kids. I mean, it might already exist. You might be stealing somebody else's idea.
It's true. It is true. I've not looked, but yeah, it was a lot of queuing, but I felt it was important for her to learn.
Absolutely.
And she was fine.
Yeah,
she was absolutely fine.
Where did you stay?
So we stayed in a place called Davenport, which is, I think, it's only 15 miles from Disney. But obviously, as I think you've touched on in one of your previous podcasts, the traffic in Orlando can be problematic. And I would say that we seem to choose the worst times every day to leave and arrive. It was taking probably 45 minutes. It was probably taking 35 to 40 in the morning, 45 to 50 in the evenings. When we were leaving, it wasn't disastrous for us, and it was quite nice to go back to your own pool and that sort of thing. But again, as we've discussed privately, if I was to do it again, I'd stay on site, but we'll get on to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're absolutely getting on to things that you would do different next time.
But yeah, we stayed we booked it on Airbnb. We booked it quite a long time ago. because there's two reasons. One, because we wanted our own pool, and two, we wanted our own space.
Which is
we
very
wanted her
important.
to have her own bedroom, and not share with her and have to be quiet when she's gone to bed or have to go to bed when she does, just to be able to have some relaxing time without being in one room with her, basically.
Just out of interest, see when you booked the Airbnb, what was it advertised as? How far away from Disney it was? Did it say like 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
I think it said 20 on the title. It said Disney themed villa, 20 minutes from Disney, I think.
Right. So when you're saying about between half an hour and 50 minutes to get back, that's really our Dad and I's predictions. The last time we spoke was about adds double, triple, whatever onto that.
Again, he doesn't mind driving. He did the driving. It didn't ruin our trip at all. And we quite often went to get dinner afterwards, or get supermarket supplies. It was a good location, I would say. It wasn't too far out.
That's where we stayed the year we got married. It was in a villa in Davenport, and it was lovely.
Yeah, no, it was really lovely, and we had crocodiles in our back garden, or alligators, I should say.
Is that not the first photo you sent me? The first one or something?
Probably.
Look at our neighbour. I was like, wow, I would not be going near that.
It was pretty close. Pretty close.
It was huge.
It was, yeah. My husband did get a little bit twitchy. Me and my daughter were in the swimming pool, and he kept sort of putting his head over, going, I think it's time to go in now. I was like, no, it's fine.
It's the new Steve Irwin trying to wrestle this out.
Appears in our swimming pool. But no, it was good. It was good. It was good.
Good. What made you decide to stay off-site?
Again, it's sort of the personal space, the sort of having more than one room to relax in, and the own swimming pool. But we did go through lots of different stages of decision. Because our daughter is an only child, we contemplated going somewhere with like a communal swimming pool so that she could make some friends. Then we looked at on-site. But to be honest, I think when I looked at on-site, I started off by going into TUI at the very beginning and saying, this is where we want to go. These are the dates I've got. We were really fixed on our dates because of our dog. So I had him booked into our dog hotel, and she could only do those set dates. So we were really, really tied with those. So I went into TUI and I was like, look, what can we do? She printed me out loads of options. I went home and I looked at the different resorts and the different packages. And I will be honest, it completely and utterly overwhelmed me. Because of what I do for a job, it shouldn't, because I do lots of hotel bookings and loads of accommodation and logistics and travel. But sometimes it's just nice to have somebody do it for you. And it just completely floored me. And my husband sort of expected me to be an expert from the beginning and kept asking me loads of questions, and I was like, I don't know. So we went round in circles. We looked at everything, and then it purely came down to the conclusion of wanting our own space, and my husband believing that he wanted time away from Disney, because he had all these grand plans to do everything not in Disney. He has a list of stuff that he still didn't get to do
I think that's
because
hilarious.
we were too busy in Disney.
That is so right. This actually leads me very nicely into this next question I've got written down, and I've not sent you these in advance.
No, you haven't.
So how often initially did you want to actually go to the parks over your 10 days that you were there?
I think he was expecting 3 to 4 days in Disney plus water park.
Now I know how your trip planned out. That makes me want to laugh so much.
What did we do? I think we did 2 days not in Disney.
Yeah.
If you don't count Blizzard Beach.
No, we're not counting that.
What, maybe 1.5?
Yeah, so I remember one of your first questions to me was about tickets and where do I buy 3 days of tickets, and I was like,
well, I guess that's how we came about. That's how we started talking. I put a message onto a Facebook group, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm really baffled by this. How do I book things when staying off resort? And you popped into my inbox and said, hello, maybe this package, the document that you do will help you. And that was it, wasn't it? We just got chatting.
But then the next question was, if I only want to do 3 days, where do I, because obviously it's here, you can't really buy those tickets here.
No.
And then I remember sending you a photo of the boards that we took the day. It was one of the days we were going into Hollywood Studios, and I took a photograph
the individual prices.
The individual prices per day. And you were like, wow, wait till I show my husband. And you showed him, and he was like, no, we're still only doing a couple of days, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, honestly, look at the 14-day ticket, because I think it will save you in the long run. You don't need to go that long, but you've then got your memory maker, you've then got, and then of course that opened another can of worms where you also felt overwhelmed because you didn't know what any of these things were.
Yes, yeah. And that's really unlike me, because I normally am relied upon within my industry to know everything. Yeah, and it really, really overwhelmed me.
Disney's a different ball game, and that I think that's why we set up our thing initially. Yeah. But I do think that when you bought those 14-day tickets, when you finally convinced them to buy the 14-day tickets, it didn't take too long.
What, an evening?
Yeah, if that.
I think it was an evening.
Because I think I then typed out a whole spiel and you read it to him, didn't you? And he was like, oh, maybe that would be the good option. And then what was his first words when he walked in and saw the prices? Do you remember? Because I remember you text me this.
He said, he looked at me and he said, okay, maybe you guys are all right.
Yeah.
I think it was something like $260 or something for a day.
It's all date dependent. It's all date specific.
Yeah, it definitely changed daily. And it seemed to go, I don't know if this is right, but it seemed to go down when there was bad weather. I don't know if that's, seemed to drop about $50 a day.
Yeah, because you had quite did you have quite a cold day?
Yeah. Yeah, the last 2 or 3 days we were in trousers and jumpers.
Yeah.
But it was quite pleasant for the parks, really. For her especially. Yeah.
Much better than the blistering heat. So yeah, I think when we finally explained to you like what Memory Maker was and how much it was per day, or per, I think it's 3 or 4 days it lasts over. And then we'd said to you about park hopper, not that you park hop much, but the option was there, because I think at that point we were talking about Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and Akershus on the same day, weren't we?
Yes.
So then you had to have park hopper for that option.
Yeah.
And then that would have then cost even more.
Yes.
Because it's Magic Kingdom, which is the most expensive park, and Epcot, which is the second most expensive park on the one day.
Yes.
So I think that definitely helped with regards to the plans that you had in your head. Whether we could have got that plan further down the line was,
who knows? Yeah,
up in the air. We didn't know because you were off-site and it was going to be quite.
But it was nice to have the flexibility and the option in the end, right?
Absolutely. And the fact that you didn't go to Disney just 3 or 4 days, you went almost every day.
Yes. Yep. Guilty.
Which I didn't tell you was going to happen, but hell. As soon as we let one see everything, they just want to go back.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, totally.
Clear. There was one park you didn't go to, wasn't there?
Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, to be fair, there's not much open there anyway just now, but.
No, but the way we looked at it again, as I said at the beginning, we went for her.
Yeah.
She didn't know that any of this existed before we went there. She still doesn't know about Animal Kingdom. And I just didn't feel we would have the time to do it justice with the time that we had. And by the time we'd come to the sort of days where Animal Kingdom could be a possibility, i.e. we'd done all the dining and everything, she was happy with where she'd been and she wanted to go back. And we just said, we're going to come back. It's obvious we're going to be back. So let's leave that park. You know, because again, another touchy subject is we didn't take a pram for our 4.5-year-old. And I also feel that Animal Kingdom is quite a big one. And I didn't want to but make her walk around there without one of those. So we just left that one where it is, and we will do it when we go again next time.
Yeah, I don't know how you managed that. Honestly, the amount of photos I got of her on top of your husband's shoulders, falling asleep, waiting for the monorail, or oh my God.
It was probably only, we really didn't carry her a lot. We really didn't. Only if we needed to get somewhere quickly.
Yeah.
So we'd seen something, or we knew that something was happening, and it was like, right, let's go, let's grab her and go. But the other time she walked, she did something like 97 kilometers of walking in the parks.
Jeez.
Over the course of the time, because I have obviously a tracker on my phone, and yeah, 97 kilometers she walked.
That's insane. I remember you saying to me at one point, "Oh, I wish we had one, but he just won't give in." I was like, "Well, if he won't give in, he can carry her."
Now, I do wish we'd had one. I do understand why people do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I probably would enforce it next time. But equally, I would have felt very stressed having one. They're everywhere.
Yeah, no, they are.
And the parking, and like, part of me is grateful, but part of me understands why
They
people do it.
are very good to, like, for us, like I say, we go from open to close, so we need to
Yeah,
take, not don't need to take loads with us, but it's handy for keeping
yeah,
stuff in.
yeah, yeah. Whereas we just took one backpack in,
Ah.
and I carried that.
He carries the child, you carry the bag.
Exactly. But no, part of me wishes we'd taken one. Part of me is glad that we didn't.
Yeah. And I can totally see both. Like, we do take two single strollers, but that's because we stay at a Skyliner resort and you can just wheel them onto that when they're
Yeah.
sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
But then it also gives us the option to only take one,
Yes. Yeah,
should
that's
we
a
need
good
to.
idea. Yeah.
But yeah, Ayla wasn't in it that much this year. Yeah, occasionally just for the shade more than
Yeah.
anything if we
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
standing waiting for something.
Mm-hmm.
But oh god, if Orla sees a pram, she just wants to go in it and go to sleep.
I think she would as well. But yeah, she did it, and I'm quite proud of her actually.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
97 kilometers is
That's
pretty
crazy.
good. Yeah.
When you said to me she has, because you were in Magic Kingdom and you were somewhere in the park, I can't remember where it was, but I remember you thinking, my goodness, that's
Oh, we
really far
needed to
away
get from
from
one
Ariel.
side to the other. Yeah.
And she
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go back on Ariel.
Oh no,
And
that was when we were in Hollywood Studios, and we presumed she wanted to go to Hollywood Studios for the day because we had the Woodies barbecue in the afternoon. So we got there at 9 a.m. and we did something we needed to do in Hollywood. And then I said, right, where would you like to go? She's like, I want to go on the aerial ride. And I was like, that's in Magic Kingdom. So she wanted to go to the aerial ride. So that's what we did.
and just out of interest, how long did that take you then to get from Hollywood Studios to Magic
Oh,
Kingdom?
see, I knew you'd ask me this question. He actually timed it. It took us 47 minutes to get
See?
from the Hollywood Studios entrance to our car. We drove to Magic Kingdom, and then obviously to the ticket center, and then a monorail to Magic Kingdom and to the aerial ride. But I'd say it took us 47 minutes to get to like the castle. So it wasn't
That's
too bad.
not too bad. It'd be
No.
interesting to see if someone was then doing it. So say you'd done it on the bus and he'd done it in the car, to compare, because I think that
Yeah.
would be something to get out there. Like, yes, it'll probably still take just as much time
Mm-hmm.
because you're waiting on the buses coming.
We did and ah about which way to do it, but I think because obviously the parking, once you've paid for the parking, it covers all the
Mm-hmm.
parks. I think we just thought, you know what, it'll give us a time to refresh, top up the snacks,
Yeah,
and get
all
back to
important
yeah,
snacks.
exactly. So we just took the car in the end. So
That's so interesting. 47 minutes.
yeah, and I think it was quicker on the way back because everything aligned a bit better. It was 37. It wasn't much
Yeah,
quicker. But yeah, he timed that.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. So
Yeah.
back to the park tickets then. Once you've decided you were going for the 14 days, who did you book them through?
We booked them through Orlando Attraction Tickets.co.uk. And I think it was you found them. And they had a New Year, because we booked them at the start of this year. And I think they had like a New Year's week sale on or something for New Year's Day.
20% off or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, something, or 19%, something like that. It was worth it. It was worth it. But I think we paid £1,600 for the three.
And if you were to add that up
Mm-hmm.
between the three of you going in every day individually, had you not have had those tickets, that would have been significantly more than that.
Yes, no, we know. We think it cost us something like £85 a day each to be in the parks.
And to think, if you were to be here, going to a theme park, say going to Alton Towers for the day, you're probably that for
That's
all
£80 a day now. And also she can't go on anything. Can't go on anything. So that blew that out of the water.
But it's also it's things I think that people don't think about. So the last podcast we done, I'd said about looking at the height. If you want to go, and it is your once in a lifetime, and I'm putting those in inverted commas because it's never once in a lifetime. One of those trips, and you want to do Disney, you want to do Universal, you want to do SeaWorld, you want to do everything. Look at the height restrictions because you don't want to spend all that money on an additional Universal ticket if your child can't get on anything.
That's why we didn't do Universal this time, because she's not old enough. She's not tall enough. She is tall for her age. She's 107 centimeters, so she is tall for her age. But there was no way. And also, we wouldn't have had time in 10 days. We did Universal when we went in 2007, and we just wouldn't have had time.
No.
So that's one for next time.
As much. I keep saying this. I'm so glad this is how you found it though, because I would be devastated if you come back and you went, no, that wasn't for me.
There's no chance of that though, is there?
No, I mean, it was touch and go at one point before you went. I thought, oh no, I'm not going to crack this one. This one's not going to be able to.
No chance.
And car hire. So what car was it you hired? Who did you hire it from? And then we'll go on to the subject of car seats, because I think that's just...
So we hired through Avis. Not my preferred rental company, but it was the best value.
Okay.
I get quite preferential rates through work, so I did book it through work. I paid, actually I've just had the bill, I paid 510 for the 10 days. That includes all the tolls. So I've literally just had my final bill because I did it through work. It's on a 30-day invoice. So I paid 510 for 10 days. We got a Jeep Wrangler, so like an SUV.
Not a small car.
No, not a small car. It was absolutely perfect for what we needed. I would say that the queues for picking up hire cars to be prepared for, because it certainly took us over an hour to get our car. Everyone, obviously, you can see everyone on the Facebook groups panicking about TSA and all those lines. I would say we didn't have a problem there. We were through off the plane and through TSA within an hour.
You were Terminal C, weren't you?
Yes. So we got the bags first, then queued up for TSA. But I would say an hour and 15 for all of that.
Interesting to see how that changes at the end of April when when Virgin moved there.
Virgin moved there, yeah. Let's see.
Because they all seem to land at the same time. I keep saying this, but both planes seem to land at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think it's within 20 minutes of each other they land. But no, I can't really. The airport was great, just the car hire. But again, I do think that is dependent.
It's a beautiful airport, though, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
so
it's lovely.
Clean.
Yeah, really, really nice. Yeah. But yeah, no, that was fine. And it was only 40 minutes from the airport to our house.
Brilliant.
So it was quite good.
That was really good. And you didn't have any issue with Airbnb or anything when you got there? If there was any issues with the house, was it all...
No, straight in, keypad on the front door to let us in, and straight in. Excellent. Straight into bed.
Yeah. That's another thing. People always say to me, like, what would you plan for us? Because obviously I did your itinerary for you, but I do, obviously other people, I don't. They just send me what they've booked and I would then map it all out for them. Well, you've not put anything in for the first night. What would you recommend we do? And I'm like, probably not a lot.
To be honest, landing on that 5 p.m. flight, by the time you've got your bags, cleared security, got your hire car, maybe popped to the supermarket on your way to your house, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. And we had a very quick dinner and went to bed.
I mean, that's what I was hoping you were going to say, because I feel like I'm lecturing people when I'm saying, no, please don't.
Didn't even go in the swimming pool, and that's very unusual for me.
Did she ever ask to go in the swimming pool when you were at the parks? Did she ever say, can we go back to go in the pool? No. That's interesting. Because you thought she'd want to go back to go into the pool most nights, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. I think there was only one night, which was the firework night that we stayed for, that she didn't ask to go in the pool when she got home. So we were in it. We did use it morning and evening. That first morning for jet lag, we were in the swimming pool at 5 a.m.
Why not? Go do what you got to do.
But no, she loves swimming, but she didn't ever say, I want to leave the park to go swimming.
Yeah.
So, but also just going back to car seats. So obviously I'd read about the car seat laws for America, and I questioned it with you because we just planned to take our car seat for her from England because it comes with the allowance of BA. And I didn't really think anything of it. And then I read about the insurance not being covered. Went through all the rigmarole you suggested, which was a really good suggestion about him getting the hire car, going to Walmart, buying a seat and coming back. That would be really easy to do, having seen where Walmart is and having seen the seats that they sell there, because I went and had a look. That would be a very good solution for somebody that couldn't have a booster seat. But she's obviously 4.5. She's a good height. She's a good weight. So we ended up buying a bubble bum inflatable booster, which I wasn't convinced about when it arrived here, but we went with it and it was quite good. Queuing for the hire car, I just pulled it out the bag. It's partly self-inflate, but then you top it up, and she enjoyed it. It was fine. Didn't quite feel right.
No.
Going from the UK style of safety and the UK style of seat, because in the UK she would have a back, like a high back booster, but it complies with the laws there. It complied with their insurance, and I guess it's safe enough.
Well,
She was fine.
We went back and forward with this for a long time, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think it was over a week. We were
Yeah.
kind of both researching it. Obviously, because we hadn't stayed on offsite for a long time, like it wasn't really something that we were familiar with. But obviously, we will then go out our way to try and find out for you. Which between us both, you and I, we managed to come to the conclusion that, well, as much as no, it's not safe here, cars are much safer over there.
Yes.
Much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we both came to that conclusion at the same time after doing all this research, didn't we? And that, as much as you probably wouldn't put her in it here,
no,
over there, God forbid anything happens, you want to be covered medically.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
And thankfully nothing did, but it's always in the back of your head that what if?
And I've actually lent the seat to my friend who's gone today. So she's got it. It's being used again. Fine.
Yeah. And do you think it would be easy enough if you were, say, relying on Ubers or Lyfts to get around to pop in your bag?
Yes.
Does it go small enough?
Like for me, who only took one backpack, it probably takes up the same space as a normal sized water bottle. Right, so you sort of roll it like a sausage and you could put it down the side of your bag and it would be fine. And it's quite easy. It inflates really quickly. I think it would be a really good solution for that sort of thing.
How much was it? Can you remember?
£35 from Amazon.
That's all right, though.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Not the safest, but...
Not the safest, but as you said, we were going to go and buy one from Walmart. It was $50. And ultimately, leave it there, really. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't really want to bring back something that we were never going to use again in this country. Possibly was going to bring it back to share it with my friend, as I said, who's gone today. But we just ended up discussing taking the bubble bum, and it was fine.
Yeah, and it worked for her, didn't it?
Yeah.
It really, because I'd said
she thought she was really grown up.
Yeah, and looking online, like the seatbelt had a strap thing on it, and I'd messaged
yeah, so
it
had a rear clip that clipped onto the belt, and you could pull it down behind her back, and it took the neck bit away from her neck.
Yeah,
and it just, if I was going to buy one, I might as well buy one that complies
absolutely
with them fully, and I think it also complies in Europe as well. So we're going on holiday later in the year, and we'll probably just take that rather than taking our own again. Exactly. It just went in the top of our suitcase, and when I got the bag from the baggage, I pulled it out, self-inflated it, and it was ready for when we got the car.
And I'm glad that you found it okay, because like I said earlier, you were a wee bit apprehensive. I mean, we both are a bit apprehensive.
I think it's only because in the UK you're just drummed so hard about car seat safety and how old, they have to be in booster seats till they're 11, and then you're just putting this 4-year-old on this blow up bag.
That's essentially what it was.
But no, it was way sturdier than I thought it was going to be. And to be honest, I did get it out of the bag and go, oh, is that it? Like, it looked quite small, but it was absolutely fine.
And like you say, she felt so big. She did.
She felt very grown up. Very grown up. once she'd managed to climb into the car herself, because obviously it's SUV, it was very high up.
Very tall.
Yeah.
That's always the worry. And I always remember when we used to hire car seats over there when we were driving, the car seats they would hire were all like PVC lined. So you'd have to put a towel down on them first before you put the child in, because obviously inside the car is so hot.
Yes.
You would absolutely burn them if you were to
Yeah.
sit them on it.
And that's the other thing. I didn't want to pay. I think Avis were quoting me $100 to rent one, which isn't the end of the world, but the bubble bum was £35.
And if you had to pay it, you would have paid it to
Absolutely.
get the one you were happy with. But I think we've been round in circles that many times over what's best to do. And ultimately, it's your child at the end of the day. I can only advise you what we've found out. But being a mum, I was very much like, well, I think this. And you said, well, it's funny you say that because last night I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think definitely recommend that. And maybe
I would recommend it. I would absolutely recommend it.
Yeah. Just to say that it was worth it and it was fab for you.
Yeah, no, it was really good. It was really good.
Now that leads me on to what would you do differently next time?
I would stay on site if I could absolutely pick. I mean, we obviously visited a few hotels, not many, but we obviously visited a few with the dining reservation that you got us at the Riviera, and we also then took the opportunity to go to the Art of Animation Hotel because I'm a big Nemo and Cars fan, so we went there. I would stay there. I would stay at the Art of Animation. That's ideally in a Cars room. But I would, if we are to go back in the next couple of years when she is still more than likely in her princess, all things Disney era, and I would say it's ramped up since we got back. You know, she's wanting to watch all the films, play with the dolls.
She does get a big box of dolls.
She did get a big box of dolls. I would stay on site, and for several reasons, really, to not have to be able to go back during the day and it not take an hour and a half to do a round trip to come back, so that then you could maybe go out in the morning and then go back during like the really hot parts of the day, have a chill out, maybe have a swim, and then go back in the evenings, because we didn't do many late nights in the parks. You know, she's 4 and she's not really a night owl at the minute. We did stay up late, but we had to sort of almost prepare for that. Whereas I think staying on site, we could have been a bit more relaxed and chill about it. The prices of the car park, you know, that was in addition $35 a day. We didn't think we'd go as much as we did, so we did spend more than we anticipated on parking. That's another reason. And now I'm more au fait with the way things work. I would be interested in trying to incorporate the dining plans and things like that into the next trip. I don't think what we spent whilst we were there on food, etc., was astronomical. We obviously did quite a few dining reservations, but when we had those, we didn't eat much for the rest of the day. So I think our expenditure on food was probably lower than a normal. I don't know. It was probably lower than I expected.
Yeah, I think it was like what you'd sent me a list of an amount of what you spent, and I thought that's actually not bad at all, considering you had what, 3 meals? 4?
Yeah.
4.
4.
4.
No, 4. Yeah,
4. Yeah, you had Darkish House, you had Crystal Palace, Topolino's, and Woody's. Yeah. So that's not. I don't think
and Bibbidi Bobbidi.
And yeah, if we include that in there, that's just going to take the price of that right off, isn't
it? So considering that we did all of that, then I don't think what we spent was horrific at all.
No.
But you know, I would just like to, I think the word is immerse myself more into it.
Which I didn't think you would do.
So that's probably the only thing I would do differently, is try and stay on site.
Yeah.
Try and convince him.
As soon as you came back, I knew you would.
Yeah. But
so, what was the best part of the entire trip? What was your most magical memory?
Bibbity Bobbity. So that wasn't even anything to do with me either. But it was just seeing the magic come just in from her eyes, like genuinely believing everything that was going on. I honestly, it was just so immersive.
Mm-hmm.
And they, the person that did her hair and makeup must do that, what, 15 times a day?
If that, if not more. Yeah.
Like, and I just think it was like she'd done it. It was the first time. It was, as passionate, as magical as probably the first one she did that day. And it was just brilliant. And just seeing her face when she did the magic wand on the mirror and the fairy godmother appeared. I knew that was going to happen because I'd watched videos, but it was just so magical.
Yeah.
Like, and the fairy godmother coming in, and like I would do it again.
I know, that's the thing. Like, we told our kids it was a one and done. They're not
Yeah.
doing it again. And then the next time we go, we say, right, what do you want to do? And their first thing was Bibbidi Bobbidi.
Yeah, we had tears that evening because she didn't want it to get to midnight, because the fairy godmother told her at midnight the magic ends, and we had tears for maybe on and off for a couple of hours. Just look at her and she'd have a face full of sadness, and you'd be like, what's wrong? She'd be like, I don't want to, I want to be a princess forever. And she went to bed with the hair still up, and she was like, it's not going to fall out, is it? And I was like, no, and I'll make you a princess tomorrow. Well, it won't be the same. I said, I even had to go to Walmart and buy hair gel and hairspray and bobby pins so that I could redo it.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I was quite good at it, actually, I have to say.
Well, to be fair, you did send me a picture over going to ballet class and she had it in. I was like, wow.
Yeah, but that for me probably was the most memorable moment. And I also have to say, the memory maker photos, which before I went, I was really like, whatever about. I hate photos of myself. I was like, whatever, I'm not going to queue to have a picture in front of the Epcot ball. But my God, it was like, do you want a photo? Let's get a photo. Let's do a photo here. Let's get a photo here. I think we ended up with 320 or something.
Yeah, and you also found out something when you got back that I didn't know about how to download them, remember?
Yes, because I'd been downloading them sporadically, just maybe the odd one or two to show people. And then I thought when I got back, I'm going to have to download all of these onto my phone individually. And I asked you if there was a way to do them as a one, and you said you didn't think so. And then it was actually, I can't take the credit, it was actually my husband who said, I wonder if you can do it on a computer. So I logged in, and you can download them all, because they're quite high, they're really good quality photos. So they do actually take up a lot of memory. I think it was something like 3 gigabytes of photos that I downloaded, because I downloaded them in the highest quality because you can choose. But I didn't realize that the memory maker would capture what it did. Like, I didn't realize that they were in Bibbity Bobbity Boutique, and we probably got 30 from there alone. I didn't realize, the only thing I really thought it captured was the ride photos.
Was there not an issue with one of your ride photos?
We had a couple of issues with the ride photos. They didn't ever, unless it was a photo that you could see visually when you got off the ride, like Tiana's.
And you can tap your card.
And you can tap your card. They appeared on my app. But if it was a ride like Slinky Dog, that where it supposedly knows where you are in the park, it never worked for me. But you just said to go to the PhotoPass shop at the entrance, and they would find it, just take a note of the time, and they were brilliant. I had several issues. I even had issues with Bibbity Bobbity, where, because there are several different photographers at the time, I think I had a photographer that didn't scan the card when she started taking pictures of my daughter. So they were missing, and they were the most important ones. They were the ones where the air turned around, the reveal. They didn't capture that, and I got them on my phone, but obviously they weren't as good. And I went into the one at Magic Kingdom and I said, help me. And the lady was really good, and she was like, oh my goodness, you can't lose these ones. So she must have found maybe 20, and it took her half an hour to find them all. And I was like, oh no, it's okay, we've got enough now. And she said, but you haven't got the one, have you? And I said, no, I haven't got the one. You know, they take one when she's looking into the mirror. I was like, I haven't got that one. I was like, it's okay, don't worry about it. She was like, no, we will find it. And it 10 more minutes and she came back and she was like, I've got it.
And does that not show you like how much those photos even mean to these people? Like to
Yeah.
try to ensure you have the
Yeah.
best experience you possibly can have.
Yeah, because I thought I've got a few on my phone. It's fine, don't worry. And she was like, no, we will get it.
And you also paid a lot of money for it, so.
Yes, yeah. And as I said, I didn't realise how special that would be until we got home. And we can now look back at them. They're really, really brilliant pictures. Really
They
good.
are, and they're so good for her to be able to look back on as well.
Yes.
We got our kids ones put into, you know, like the Instaprint type things put into like photo books for them.
Yeah.
They've got their own Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique photo book.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I love it because they still look at them. I mean, they look at them all the time.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
They absolutely love it.
Yeah, but I would say that was my favourite moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favourite picture that you sent me was probably her sleeping on her daddy's shoulders.
After the fireworks, I know. That was queuing for the monorail.
Yeah. That was so funny.
Yeah, that was.
Like
she did actually wake up. She was only asleep for about 10 minutes. But
she obviously needed that wee power nap.
Obviously. Then she was full of life on the monorail. There's a trick. I actually took her pyjamas in the car. And when we got back to the car, I put her in her pyjamas so that she fell asleep and then I could just scoop her and lift her.
That's a
good tip. I thought I was really mum clever when I did that.
Yeah. I mean, that is clever. To be fair, on site, I suppose you could pack pyjamas in your bag, couldn't you? And you could
a little bit different.
Slightly different to change them in your car.
You're also home relatively quickly. Well, quicker, I suppose. Because obviously after we'd got out of the monorail and then to the ticket centre and then to our car, we then had, I mean, it was quick, but we probably got home in half an hour because obviously it was later.
It was a bit later at night. There was no rush hour traffic.
So but yeah, that's a good tip. Pyjamas.
I don't know. I think you've given so much information that maybe sway people to on-site over off-site, but also people might want to stay off-site for the things that you were saying. They might not want to do Disney all the time.
No, and I think, wait for it, I think next time we go, I probably would allow him his time because he did want to go and see a rocket launched and he did want to go to the beach and he didn't get to do either of those.
But 10 days is not a long time.
But it's not a long time. Obviously, we were restricted because of the dog.
Who has been good as gold, by the
way. But now I think I would plan it way more in advance. We had the flights booked probably 10 months before we went because it was a long countdown. But I would probably 2 weeks, I think, is an absolute minimum. And I think that you would be hard pushed to do Disney and Universal in 14 days. In your complete ideal world. And I think if I could be a complete dream planner, I would do on-site and off-site in 3 weeks. So I Disney on-site and stay, and then move off-site and go and have an Orlando holiday. So I think if I could have my complete perfect world, I would do a mix and match of on-site and off-site.
We'll watch this space because that sounds
absolutely
like it might happen.
I think I look every day for prices on the Disney website. Every day.
I did say to you though, wait, if you're going to book, wait till the free dining offer comes out.
Yes.
That shouldn't be too long.
We're not going to book just yet.
Remember, you can just book the hotel. You don't need to have anything else booked.
I know.
What was your favourite meal?
I knew you were going to ask me this. It is a toss-up between, and I can't ever say it, Arcachos and the Woody's barbecue.
I knew you were
going to I could not walk out of there. I was so full. I ate so much. From an experience point of view, Arcachos. But I think the food was better at Woody's. Though Topolino's was mega.
That's insane. The food in there is insane.
So I don't know.
Did you get a photograph of your food and you sent me a picture of an empty plate? I was like, that's how much you enjoyed that then.
Yeah, I always forgot befores. The only place I took her before was Woody's Barbecue.
Woody's.
That was so good.
I know, and so many, that gets so much hate, that restaurant. And I think it's because people go in expecting it to be character dining and it's not.
Yes, actually, she did keep asking, are they coming out? Which I think I asked you a few days before, didn't I?
Yeah.
But obviously we had already met Buzz and Woody and Jessie anyway. She really liked the freeze Andy's coming. She loved that. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's because people expect it to be character dining. But when I tell you I didn't eat for probably almost 24 hours after there, I just couldn't stop.
It's a lot of food and it's good.
Those biscuits, whatever they're called, the warm. I had two. I couldn't eat anymore.
They're so good.
They're so good.
And,
so good. But yeah, I think it's a toss up. But I think from a food quality perspective, Woody's Barbecue. But I really, really enjoyed the princess dining as well. Really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed Winnie the Pooh as well.
Yeah, that was one that you weren't too sure about initially, were you? And you were going to cancel it.
That was probably the one we would have cancelled out of the lot. But you obviously recommended it to us as a warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, like a get used to how it works, etc. The waiters, they were brilliant, so friendly in there, really good. The characters were brilliant, and I wasn't expecting my daughter to embrace those characters because she doesn't really know who Winnie the Pooh is. She's not really ever got into it. But every time she sees something Winnie the Pooh now, oh, Mummy, I met him.
I think it's such a good burner one for them because, yes, the characters are still larger than life, but it's not ones that you'd be devastated if they weren't happy about not.
If you missed one, for example. Yes. No, she was very, very sure that we didn't. Table 1, though. So we were 1.
As soon as you sat down, they were
there. So as soon as we sat down, they were there. Yeah.
That's the thing about a buffet, isn't it? Like, you're always walking about or looking about to see, oh, if I get time to go up again, or
which again is why Topolino's is quite nice, because it's obviously dining to a table, so you can just sit and relax and enjoy that.
Crystal Palace is good in a way. It's one of the cheaper ones, so it is a good one to test the waters with, to see if they like the characters before you go and do, like, I don't know, you spend the expense on Cinderella's Royal Table and they maybe don't like the whole character interaction thing. But also the food in there is really good as well.
Yeah,
I've not got a bad word to say. The only restaurant I do not like is Chef Mickey's.
Again, you recommended not to go, so we didn't.
Yeah, I've got a family that are going in 2 or 3 weeks and they've booked it only because I told them not to. It's like they're rebelling.
Well, they'll have to give it your feedback when they come back.
I said, well, make sure it's not the last one, because you don't want to go out in like a total downer. Make sure it's the first one and then it can only get better.
I was really glad that we had Woody's, because Woody's was on our last park day. Mm-hmm. So we flew out the next day, but not till the evening. And it was really nice, actually, because we did quite a few at the beginning, and then we had a gap of where we did nothing for maybe 3 or 4 days. And it was quite nice to end with that. Mm-hmm. It was really nice.
You did end on a high, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed everything that you booked. It was really good.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I think it's always like, I've said this before, I don't like recommending restaurants in case people don't like it. And it's just personal preference, isn't it? It's personal taste.
It is personal taste, and I think everything you booked, there was something for everybody. I would say my least favourite food was Crystal Palace. I would say that was my least favourite food, but only because it was good. It was a standard American buffet, but it was just less of my preference. But everything else, Topolino's was insane. I can't even remember what I had. I ate it so quickly. Actually, can't remember what I had. I know he had the smashed avocado, and she had the Mickey waffles.
The Mickey waffles with the sides and the dips.
Zero recollection of what I had. But yeah, no, I can't fault any meal that we had there.
And you did a few offsite meals as well.
Yeah, you have to do the standard Denny's and IHOP and all of those. We had one evening meal out, which we went to, and I can't remember the name of it, a very, very well-known Manny's Chop House. We went there, but that's the only evening meal we had out. The rest of them we ate in. Standard pizzas, things like that. But yeah, we didn't plan the meals aside from what we booked.
Yeah.
We didn't plan anything else really. We just wanted to go with the flow and see where we ended up. Quick dining, ordering on the app. That was really good.
Order. Yeah.
Really loved that. It was really good. Really easy.
What was the day that you had popcorn for breakfast, lunch and dinner because you bought it?
The day we left, the Woody's day, when we were back in Magic Kingdom, because she wanted to do the aerial ride, I took it upon myself to buy the never-ending box of popcorn.
And the box doesn't look overly big, doesn't it? No, and it's full.
We were still eating it on the way to the airport. And by that time, he'd given up. She'd said, I don't want any more. And I was like, this is not going to waste.
I'm eating this.
Left a tiny little bit on the seat in the box for the hire car people.
As long as it's in the box.
It definitely was in a box. Yeah, it was in a box. Yeah. But no, take me back.
It's over.
Take me back.
I know, and you did say about your friend going today, and you feel so.
She'll be on the plane now. Taking off, get ready to go.
That's how I feel when I've got any family going.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Hopefully, she's going to send me pictures and I can relive it through her.
Or you can give her some tips. If you go here, you'll get this.
Yes.
Turn around the corner, you can do this.
Yeah. And she's gone with her family, and it will be lovely for her.
Yeah, so. Absolutely will, but just not fun for you to look at those photos.
No. But next time.
Absolutely. There's always a next time.
Absolutely.
No, you'll definitely be back. I think it definitely sounds like you'll be back.
100%.
You have had an absolute ball. And to be honest, it's been so good, like helping you plan it and even getting notifications of your photos. I even get notifications that your dinner was ready sometimes when you get the mobile orders. It's like, oh, come on.
That really is taking the mick, isn't it? Really. No, I think that what you do, and I know that you don't like make money from it, you don't want any money from it. I think what you do is mega. And you just, as I said, I went into it when we first booked feeling quite overwhelmed with the systems and all of that and how to get the reservations. And I remember when I went in with no expectation. The only thing I asked you was, it would be nice to get Bibbidi Bobbidi. But I would also like to do some princess dining if possible. But I'd literally had no idea. And you were like, oh, I've got you this. And I was like, okay. I don't know what it is, but okay.
With regards to being off-site, it was just a gamble whether we were going to get Bibbidi Bobbidi and Akash House on the same day.
Yeah.
That was just whether it was before or after.
And it was only when I was typically flying, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And I turned my phone back on and I got like 12 messages from you going, oh my God, I got this and I got that. And I got 4 different Bibbidi Bobbities. Which one do you want? And I was like, I don't know.
I got them while you were in there because that just shows that they do open up.
Yes.
The closer you get.
Yes.
But at that point, you can't really take any gambles. You've got to just book it and then just cancel it as whoever it is doesn't want to.
Yes.
To do say one at this time or one at that time, and I think that was perfect. We got it quite late, didn't we? The first one.
Yeah, well, we got it.
5:30.
Yeah, we got the first one was 5:30. And actually, on that note, I don't think thinking about it that's a bad time,
right?
From my point of view, because obviously we ended up doing it at I think 2:15 in the afternoon, but she didn't want to. Although she loved it and she loved the experience, she didn't want to be in her dress, I would say, for longer than a couple of hours. And, because she wanted to go on rides and she wanted to climb over everything. And I was sort of saying, oh, you've got this dress on. And she was more than happy to keep her hair in and to change back into shorts and t-shirt. So I think all these people that really, really want a 9 a.m. booking to make the most of their money, great, absolutely brilliant. But realistically, I don't think they will want to be in that dress in the heat for the whole day. And thinking about like a 5 o'clock booking, you could then do the night parade with the princesses into the fireworks in your dress. And I think that's just as special as having a morning one. So I would have absolutely kept that evening booking, especially knowing what I know now, having done it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that getting a 5 p.m. booking is a bad thing.
No.
at
And
all.
I do think also it depends on what you want to do round about it. And if you can't get that certain reservation and you then get the reservation nearer the time, you've got to take the one that leads
Yes,
onto
the one that
what you
works
want
best for the day as well.
around it.
Yeah, yeah. Because if you've got an 11 a.m. Bibbity booking, you're in Magic Kingdom, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, we managed to do the dining in Epcot and then have more than enough time to have a start to look around Epcot. We didn't have enough time to complete Epcot, but sort of get to grip, get your bearings, get to know where everything is, take a leisurely trip to Bibbity Bobbity, and it was lovely. You know, and then after that we went on the carousel, dressed in her dress, went and had some photos at the castle. Then she wanted to go on Tiana, obviously,
Love that after a
which was when she got changed.
Bibbity Bobbity reservation.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
But it's been so magical because like I said before, like you start this journey with people and then you don't hear from them again, and then it's been so nice how you've kept in touch and you're still sending photos and
I
things.
think we chat every day.
Yeah, we do. We pretty much do. And I think if there's something that I'm struggling with regards to car hire or with regards to, it was the other day, it was an eSIM. I had to message you about an eSIM for
Yes.
somebody.
Yeah.
Because we don't typically need those because we stay on
Use the
site.
Wi-Fi
So
at the parks.
we've
Yeah.
got Wi-Fi permanently.
Yeah.
And I think it's important because you're not like you sending me all this information isn't just for my benefit, isn't just for, it's to help other people, isn't it? It's to get it
Well,
out there.
it's partly what I do for my job. That's what I do, travel, logistics, etc. So I'm going on a trip again on Friday. So if you do ever need anything, you know where I am.
Yeah, and if you go back to Florida before I go back to Florida, I'm coming with you next time. You need a personal tour guide.
I think you're going before I am.
I don't know.
Don't know. Trouble is, I've got to juggle. I've got to juggle her going to school with those stupid fines and my travel schedule. So it's quite, and my dog. Yes, it's all a bit of a juggle, but absolutely 100% we will be back.
That's such a good way to end this podcast because
I think
that's
so.
exactly what I wanted to hear.
There's no doubt about it.
Well, thank you so much for
no problem.
agreeing
Thank you very much.
to this torture.
No, it's not been torture. I've enjoyed it.
Well, we will speak very, very soon.
Absolutely.
And if I've got any questions for you, I will fire them across.
Not a problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.